Hey, and welcome to another episode of Pod Talks with myself, Richie Bra, and Daniella del Carpio. Today's special is it's Valentine's Day across the world. Happy hearts. Um, I've got my heart cup today as well.
Cute.
Very cute. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about relationships and training and nutrition and just how to kind of navigate that area, because I feel like quite often when people do get with someone, they can make excuses for their relationship maybe having an effect on their fitness and maybe how they're eating and how they're approaching their goals as well. So it's quite similar to how we might try and have to think about the way that we navigate friendships, friendship groups, things that you're into. And yeah, I think also it's not to say that your partner needs to be an exact same journey as you, but I think they need to have an appreciation, and I think it's important that they support you on your venture and your goals. So Daniela, any
Yeah.
from you today?
Yeah. I like what you mentioned. I think yeah, your partner obviously they don't have to be like 100% like you. We're all different humans. We all like different things. But I think like it does because you're with your partner pretty much all the time. He's like the environment around you. So whatever he's doing, it will affect you in a way. Like if for example, if you're someone who is just starting your fitness journey and he's someone who doesn't like fitness at all and he prefers to have takeaways all the time and he prefers to be in the, just watching Netflix, eating ice cream, all those things. Yeah, that's gonna be hard for you starting your fitness journey because you're gonna be more tempted to have those things. So I think, yeah, relationships do impact and do affect your fitness journey so much, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. But I think a really fun question for us to get us started is maybe talking about like if the gym is a good place to meet someone, or maybe have you had an experience, or like let's talk about like great gym crushes, because I feel like so many of us have a gym crush, or maybe used to have. Obviously if you're in a relationship now, not anymore, but yeah, I feel like the gym, it's a place that you can actually meet someone. And it's a place because you go there all the time. You kind of like know the people. It's the same people when you go in. If you go at the same time all the time, it's the same people. And you kind of like know people just by looking at them. And there's always one guy, there's always one person that you're like, he's pretty cute. Like, I like this guy. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
Yeah, okay. So I've got lots of opinions about this. Firstly, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the gym, when you go to the gym, I know that it can feel like when you get very comfortable, and it's good to feel like this, it's good to feel like it's become a social playground, right? But firstly, when we think about going to the gym, when you have a plan and you've got a program and you've got a busy life and a busy schedule, and you just need to go in and get it done. Nobody needs to spend 4 hours in the gym. I mean, if they
Mm-hmm.
do, it's likely I don't know, maybe they're a student or they're at school or they're retired, right? So again, it really does depend. Or maybe they're like a very successful business owner, and in that case, they've got loads of time on their hands. But yeah, let's just kind of take it to like the normal you and me. You go to the gym, and you need to just get your workout done. So, firstly, I will say you shouldn't be going to the gym to hook up, and you shouldn't be going to the gym to find someone. But I do
Mm-hmm.
think that it might be somewhere that you naturally stumble across someone, because you might find that it's a place full of like-minded individuals. So people that are working on themselves, people that they care about their health, people that are, they're not down the pub or, I don't know where else people might go other than I'm just trying to think, like I'm just thinking people that like to party and drink and stuff. And it's not to say that you won't find those in the gym, but I mean, yeah, if you go out on a night out and you expect to find a partner, you are expecting to find someone that's just out there for a good time. Similarly, if you go out to a gym and you find a partner, you're actually finding someone who cares about their health and that matters to them. And it's not even just their health, it's just their whole perspective on life and what matters to them. So I think actually in some ways it's a great place to meet someone, but I don't think it should be your like, I need to find a partner, so I'm going to the gym, right?
Yeah, I like how you mentioned that, because if that's your mindset right now and you're only going to the gym to find your partner or your crush, then if you don't find that person, you're going to get disappointed. And then that's going to stop you from your fitness journey, because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I spent all this time at the gym trying to look for the perfect guy or the perfect girl, and I'm not finding anyone. And then you're just going to get demotivated, and then you're going to stop training, and then you're never going to show up again. Why? Because in the first place, you were not showing up for yourself. You were showing up to find that person, to find that, yeah, that person that you want to be with. And yeah, that's such a good point that you mentioned. So always, sometimes we always tell you guys, like, do this fitness journey for yourself. Do this because you want to improve your health, because you want to work on yourself, because that's pretty much what this journey is about. It's doing something that is going to benefit you. You're looking after yourself. And remember, once you look after yourself, then you can start looking after other people. But yeah, but I think, like you say, also, like, if you go to the gym and if you do find someone, not because you want to, but just, it happens, it can happen. It's a good reminder that people like go there, they're like-minded people. Because obviously someone that spends their time at the gym and makes it time for the gym, they do care about themselves and they do want to work out for themselves. So I think for me, I feel like it's a good place to meet someone, but only if it happens like randomly, not like if you're looking for that person. But I was talking to one friend from the gym yesterday. And I was like, happy Valentines. Like, what are you doing for Valentines? And she's like, oh, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm just gonna, do something by myself. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And she was like, but I've got a gym crush. He's right there in front of us. And I was like, oh, cute. Like, have you talked to him before? And she was like, yeah, I actually saw him the other weekend, just out of nowhere. Like, I went out to this place and I saw him there, and then we looked and then we talked for a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's really cute. But it's so nice that she didn't feel embarrassed, or she didn't feel like, I don't want to talk to him, this is never going to happen, like blah blah. She was so like confident and so like open-minded. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and say hi. If he has a girlfriend, then nothing will happen, but if he doesn't, who knows, something can happen. So I feel like, it's that thing of like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. If you do see that person that you like, and maybe doing something, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but that's my little story from yesterday. I just thought it was cute, and I thought it was funny that she was so like confident. She's like, yep, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't happen. Which I think is such a good mindset to have, because she's not going there just to see the guy. She's going there to train like 100%. But it was just something very unexpected.
Yeah, I think you never know. And yeah, I think it's a great foundation for building connection as well with the person that you're with. And again, like you said, she did speak to this guy and stuff. And look, if you are in the gym and perhaps you're quite brave and you want to approach that person because you feel quite confident, just be mindful that it's not interrupting someone's workout, right? If someone's got headphones on and they're in the zone, maybe they're like on the treadmill, maybe they're actually even in the middle of doing some sets and stuff. Like, just be mindful of that. And remember that it's also still a public place. Some people might not appreciate having that interaction because they might feel embarrassed. So I think getting to know people in the gym, like you said, Daniela, when you go to the gym, the same people are generally there at the same time that you train. Let it happen naturally, and you can see what happens in the future. But I wouldn't literally be like, yeah, let's go and pick up some guys today or some chicks or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not like that.
Can you imagine someone going, do you know what? I listened to Daniella's and Richie's podcast today, and they were just like, yeah, let's go and hit up like some hot guys in the gym or something. And
yeah.
But I tell you what is funny, Daniela, I've been with my partner for 5 years now, and we know each other via the gym.
Really?
So I think we went on our first date early 2019, but we actually followed each other on Instagram back in 2017, and we met on the gym. We met at the gym, and it just turned out that the gym that he worked at, that's where I showed up. I was training with a few people that were regulars at his gym. So it just kind of happened. And yeah, look, a couple of years passed and, you know, here we are together. But yeah, it can happen.
That's so cute. So you kind of like known each other for 2 years just by Instagram. You know, when you
Yeah,
follow
pretty
someone, you
much.
can, yeah, you can, you know, you kind of know them
Well,
just by
he
following them.
followed me and I like, did I tag the gym in my,
How did he, yeah, how did
he
he find you?
I have no idea. Like through the other people, they tagged me in the stories or something, maybe. I don't know. Crazy. But yeah, that's just like that's a different story, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
it can happen. But saying that, because how long have you been with your partner for now, Daniela?
Two, 2 years, yeah. 2 years
Okay.
now.
Were
Yeah.
you competing before you met them or?
No, I wasn't. So when I started competing, I actually just broke up with my other boyfriend, with my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
I think maybe I believe like maybe that was also one of the reasons why I was so hungry to achieve the bodybuilding goal because I was so heartbroken. Like back then, I was
Oh,
so heartbroken, and I think I found that as my place to maybe get those emotions out, if that makes sense. Because I was,
and
you
to
know, when you're
heal.
heartbroken, yeah, to heal, exactly, to heal. I think I found gym as my place to help me heal, to help me feel
Mm,
better because I was just spending all that time, all that energy on myself. And I just didn't allow myself, no, I did allow myself, but I didn't want it to be, you know, upset for too long or feeling down for too long. So I think, yeah,
mm,
gym came at the right place at the right time. I think, yeah, those bodybuilding comps were something that really, really helped me with that as well to deal with that situation. Because when you're heartbroken, you know, like you're literally like heartbroken and you feel like your heart like literally hurts. Like I remember that time I was so upset, like crazy, crazy upset. I laugh about it now, but looking back then, it's one of
mm.
those experiences that you know, they were so unexpected. And then when it happens, you're like, oh, what just happened? And then your whole world, you feel like your whole world goes down and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so upset. And you're crying. And then you feel like I'm never gonna find anyone again. Like what's gonna happen? No one is gonna ever love me the same way. But then you find someone better. And then you learn so many lessons from those relationships or from that relationship. So yeah, that's a funny story for you guys. That's my
Yeah.
bodybuilding, yeah, my healing journey. Yeah, my healing
Oh.
journey.
Well, the reason also I kind of came up with this was that so obviously you competed
Yeah.
after them, you've met your current partner now. Did you
Yeah.
find that when you first met your partner, if you were already engaged in like, you know, quite serious about your training, do you feel like your training took a hit? Or maybe even the way that you ate around your partner? What were your goals at the time? Do you remember?
Yeah. For me, nothing changed. But I think the reason that for me nothing changed is because before I met my partner, my current partner, I was already into my fitness for so long. So like eating the way that I was eating in my training days, they were just part of my routine. So I didn't let my relationship affect the way that I eat. Even though my partner at that time when we started going out last year, 2 years ago, he was also very into his fitness. So I think it helped that he was also prepping his meals, going to the gym. We were like, you know, perfect for each other, quote unquote, perfect for each other in that way because he was really into his training. I was really into my trainings. That really didn't affect it too much. And because I think for me, you know, I've been doing this for so many years. It's easier for me to try not to get tempted or to like know how to handle the situation if I see my boyfriend eating KFC or McDonald's and then here eating my chicken and rice or like, you know, things like that. But I know that it can affect so many people, especially if you're only just getting started with your fitness journey. It's much, much easier to get tempted if your boyfriend or girlfriend, they're not really into their fitness. And they're not, you know, prepping their meals. They're just choosing to go out maybe every single day or every now and then. They're choosing to have different meals like you. So I think that can influence 100%. But what about you? Like, did you feel like when you started going out with your boyfriend, did that affected how the way you were training or eating?
I think I was going through my own transition and I was, you know, in my mind, like just before I'd met him, I'd say like the summer prior to that, or even like the autumn prior to that, so like the October November time before I met up, you know, we went on our first date in like the January the next year. I was really in the zone with my training, with my love of bodybuilding. And I remember I was working a full-time job. I was training people outside of the job as well, like doing extra PT and stuff. And it really took its toll on me physically and mentally and emotionally. Being on that, I was just like a hamster on a wheel. Seriously, I was so hectic, heavily reliant on caffeine as well. So I would, you know, I'd get my sleep, but it was definitely not enough. And it was just everything was like motivation, focus, you know, like in the gym constantly, you know, and not even in the gym constantly, just working. My schedule was crazy. Like I would start at like 5 in the morning and it would be go and train someone else and then be like travel to work and then do a full day of work and then come back and then like shot of caffeine and then like get in the gym, train in the gym. And I know that during that time for me, Daniela, my meal prep was on point. Like I had everything, but actually there was a point where I just like, I hit a brick wall and I went, no, I'm done. And so actually when I met him, I was already going through a transitionary period. And I actually started to move away from bodybuilding and I'd already been teaching a lot of Pilates, but I'd actually started doing a lot more myself, almost like a complementary, like you could almost say that it was like giving my body an alternative way to move because I'd just stressed it so much. And I think when I'd met him, we were both definitely still into our fitness. I'd actually started walking a lot more. I was one of those people that it was like, okay, you do your weights, you do your cardio in the gym, and then you just drive everywhere. You drive everywhere, or like there might be a bit of walking on commuting and that sort of thing. But I got heavily into like walking as like just mentally, I think it really took me on a journey. But when I met him, I guess we kind of, it was difficult because we didn't live near each other and maybe we would like see each other once a week. And when we would once or twice a week, and when we'd see each other, we'd always make the effort to go out. And like we would eat out all the time. We'd be like, let's go into London. So we're going to London and we're on our feet and we're getting loads of steps, but we are just smashing junk food left, right, and center. Just because back then there were I'd say there were a lot of vegan restaurants in London, loads. And he was quite intrigued by it all. So we were like constantly going out to eat. And so I think things changed there. But I guess in some ways maybe we combated it by being active, going and getting gym sessions in together and walking lots. But yeah, that was kind of my thing. But I'd come away from like, you know, meal prepping and that sort of thing. You could say I was on my own, like different type of healing journey, you know?
Yeah, let me ask you something because I know you're a vegan, but I
Yes.
think your partner is not vegan,
No,
right?
he's not.
So how do you guys like, do you think that was that maybe something in the relationship that was a little bit complicated, or the way that you cook and the way that he eats? Like, I don't know, did that affect the way that you ate or the way that he eats? Because I know some people, like I know some partners that if the girlfriend or the boyfriend is vegan, then the other person becomes vegan because of the other person to make it easier for them to prep the meals and cook dinner and all of that. Has your boyfriend maybe changed the way he eats, or have you changed the way you eat because of that?
No. So this is weird, right? We've since the beginning, and when I say that, literally we saw each other once or twice a week because we lived towns apart, you know. As well as that, we also work different times of the day. We are pretty much like on different schedules. Like even to this day now, we're on different working schedules. Like we're both very, very busy. But there'll be different times. Like I go to bed way earlier than him and I get up way earlier than him as well. So that in itself affects things. So we're generally not even in the kitchen at the same time. and we just do our own
Mm.
things. Like for us, I don't know, some people might say that it's strange, but we don't sit down and eat dinner together. Like that doesn't exist in our relationship because of the we're not around to have dinner at the same time. Like dinner for
Yeah.
him or his last meal is probably going to be like very close to midnight. It's so different. We're so
Mhm.
different. But similarly, at the same time, I'll be up at like quarter to six tomorrow morning, quarter to six. Like that's when I start my day. So like 5:45, alarm goes off, and I'm up and out. So we've changed. We've been together 5 years, but we've changed.
Mhm.
And you could say that maybe this comes from me being a bit of a like a hacker in some
Yeah.
ways, that I like to try and find ways of making things easier for people. So I do that for my clients, to try and like really kind of think about difficulties and how to overcome them. And I feel like that's something that I've definitely done within my relationship. We don't cook at the same time. We don't eat at the same time. We don't need to eat the same thing. The only time that I wouldn't even say it's a problem, because we actually have a really good way of when we go out to eat. Like I'm very grateful. My partner's always like, well, where can you eat? Because I can eat anywhere. Where can you eat? So
Mm.
that's amazing for me. And
Yeah.
we fit in the we fit somewhere in the middle, and we've got a great restaurant chain here in the UK called Wagamama's. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Never. No.
It's like Japanese cuisine. It's like pretty much 50% plant-based, vegan, veggie food.
Um.
And yeah, so like 50%. So obviously like ticks his boxes, but for me it ticks my
Mhm.
boxes. And everything is like calorie counted in that restaurant. The macros are on all the meals, and they've got really good range of options. So if you want a 1200 calorie meal, you can tick that box. If you want a
Wow.
500 calorie meal, you can tick that box. So it's
Yeah.
really good, and it actually satisfies us both in terms of like making sure we both, satisfy our nutrient macronutrient needs as well. So protein gets ticked in there as well, which is rare when you go out to eat
Yeah.
vegan.
I think like as long as you make it work, because obviously you guys are
Mm.
making it work, and that's the main thing. Like I think some people have this expectation like once you get into a relationship, you have to go to I don't know, go to bed at the same time. You have to have dinner at the same time, or you have to do this together all the time. Like I don't know, this whole idea of relationship, like perfect relationship. But I think like as long as you make it work for you and your partner, and that really works for you, and that's something that you guys enjoy, I think that's amazing. I feel like there's absolutely nothing wrong with like you guys eating dinner at different times, or you guys waking up at different times, sleeping at different times. It's your relationship. Like you do whatever works best for you. But I do know like some couples, they need to have like they must have dinner every single night at the same time, or they have to wake up early. I mean, at the same time every single day, which yeah, I don't know. I guess obviously every relationship is different. Every single person is so different. But just do whatever you do, just do what works for you. Always do what works for you and do what's best for you. And I also like the fact that you didn't change the way that you eat just because of your partner, and he didn't change the way that he eats just because of the way that you eat. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we gotta remember that, yeah, yes, we are in a relationship, but I'm still me. Like I'm still Daniela. Daniela's not gonna change. And my boyfriend's still my boyfriend. He's not gonna change. Yes, we are together, we are a team. But before being a team, I am the team with myself, and then with him, and then with other people. So yeah, I think that's a really good message for everyone. Like you don't need to change the way that you are for someone, or the things that you normally do for someone. Maybe there might be things you might need to adjust, maybe here and there.
Compromise. Yeah.
Compromises, exactly. But you don't have to change the things that you love, or your values, or the things that you believe in. I think that wouldn't be a healthy or long last, yeah, well, that wouldn't be a healthy relationship, not for yourself or for you and your partner. Mm.
I agree. No, definitely. I like to call it like, yeah, troubleshooting, really. That don't change for one another. Be who you
Mm.
are, because you are. And I'll always say this, like how you say you're Daniela and your partner is your partner. You are always your own person first, for sure. And
Mhm.
he is himself, that he's always his own person. And then yeah, we collaborate together. So
Mm.
brilliant. I think it's important,
Exactly.
healthy, isn't it? It's healthy to be your own independent person and be your, and do you know what, Danielle? I feel like it's a world away from maybe our parents or grandparents' generations
I
where
think so.
relationships were very much about unity and unifying and being one person. But I think it's so important to be an individual and then bring out the best in each other.
100%. 100%. And I think, yeah, grandparents, those old ideas of like, the woman being in the kitchen, the woman making all the meals, the woman cooking, and then the husband out working. But I think those times are changing. Like I think now it's becoming more normal for women to work. Women, they don't have to be the ones doing the cleaning and the washing. Like it's a relationship. So we both, wash the dishes or do the meals or do this, do that. Like again, just do whatever works for you and just be yourself. Like have that independency. I think that's something that I personally love so much. I love being so independent. I don't like relying on other people, even if it's my partner. Like I don't like relying on him for me to make decisions, such as another one. I think another topic will be good about money, because I think money can be like,
Yeah.
I think this is something we want to talk about so much, but I know so many couples that when the girl or the lady, the woman wants to buy something, they have to talk to their partner to make that decision, which in some cases I understand if the partner is the only one bringing the money home, because you have to talk about those things. But I feel like if you are working and he's working and then you feel like you need to ask that person for permission for you to buy something, I don't know, I feel like that's taking away your independency, because you are working, you're earning that money yourself. You should be able to do the things that you want to do with that money. If you have a family, yes, obviously family priorities first, but you shouldn't feel the need to, I need to get the permission from my husband or from my partner to be able to make that decision. What do you think about that? Have you experienced that before, or do you know people, that have experienced that, or that do that?
I haven't experienced it myself, but I think that's also probably comes from me taking that step myself, that if I've wanted to do something, I will do it because, I have my own career and I have my own money and I don't need to have someone do something for me. So it's even when it comes, I think it's also like in the relationship, if you try and keep very traditional values around, oh, the guy must always pay for dinner and stuff like that. Like I'm not in agreement of that. I think it
Mhm.
should be shared, and it's lovely if
Yeah.
he offers, but I don't think it's he has to do it. I don't think
I
that's fair. So we can't take what we want and then not be willing to, to accept equality in the other foot. So like I think that's also really, really important. So when it comes to spending money, I'm sure there's things that he's bought and I've just gone, what the hell is that? But it's not my business. It is
exactly.
not my business. So like ladies out there, if you are, if you have a partner and it's a him and you feel like you need to ask him for permission to do something for yourself, just like stop and think again. Like, would you do the same to him? And would he really appreciate that? If he wants to go and spend like £400 on like baseball tickets, is that your business? Is that your problem? Is that your issue? Right? No. If that's the way he chooses to have fun or adds value to his life, then that's completely, the onus is on him. Why is it
Mhm.
your problem? And maybe if there is issues within the relationship where there's actual financial problems and there's children, like you and I, Daniela, I think we've built really good relationships with our partners where we're very independent. But I know that people that are part of family networks with their children and there's people that they're responsible for, maybe that's where they have those conversations, and especially if there's like reckless spending on stuff. But other than that, if you've got your own job and yeah, you do as you please and do what adds value to your life, and that's what you need to think about. What is valuable
Mhm.
to your life? What's going to see you through? And if that happiness for your partner is those baseball tickets and that day of watching games, then let's so be it. And if it's for you and you feel like what you want to invest in your health and fitness for your longevity and your happiness, and maybe even for that holiday later on this year, so you just feel goddamn sexy on the beach, then you go for it.
Exactly. I feel like, yeah, if you have kids, it's a little bit different because obviously your priorities change completely. You know, the money that you make now, it's not just for yourself, it's for you and your kids. You have to spend more money, invest more money on your kids, maybe school, things that you have to buy them, all of that. But yeah, I still feel like we still need to have that level of independency. And that's why I personally believe that before you get into a relationship, you want to make sure that you are at a place that you're happy by yourself, you're happy with yourself, you have your own money, you have your own things, your own car, your own everything, because you don't want to be relying on someone else to give you that thing. Even if that person loves you, and maybe they do love you, but you never know what can happen. Like, you know, you never know. Even if you think you're gonna be together for the rest of your life, so many things can happen, and you don't want to be left with nothing. You don't want to be left heartbroken with no money, with nothing on your name. Like, that will break my heart so, so much. And that's why I feel like we're so independent, because we don't know what's gonna happen. But as long as I have my own things, as long as I can, if anything happens, I can continue with my life, with my things, with my money. That makes me personally happy, because I don't have to be relying or depending on anyone to give me that. But again, I know there's so many, different cases. Like, some woman, if you're pregnant, obviously you cannot work, so you have to stay at home. And maybe your husband is the only one bringing the money at home. Or maybe you have 3, 4, 5 kids, and maybe your husband is the only one doing the work, and you're doing the work at home, which is a little bit different. I think, yeah, there's different cases. Everyone is different. But I think we're just talking about, like, more like in general for everyone. And if you feel the need to consult with your husband every single time, even if you don't have kids, but you feel like you need to talk to him, yeah, that's just something to think about, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. I think so. Really important. But kind of like taking it back to being in relationships, and yeah, let's think about how couples train together, like sharing that value of, having that shared goal, and using it as a time to spend time together as well. So again, let's say you have met that person in the gym and you're a few years down the line now. I think it's really important that you look at working together, on a goal, or there's at least some support or consideration for your fitness and your health, your nutrition goals.
Yeah.
So, like everything when it comes to eating out, perhaps maybe they're not on the same journey as you, but the fact that they can support you on your journey, I think it's really, really, really important. What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
I think it's important, but one thing that I don't maybe agree with too much, it's when people train together, which is fine. But I mean, sometimes when I ask some girls, how's your fitness journey going, or what's your goals, or whatever, and often they tell me, yeah, my goal is to lose body fat, for example. I'm just doing what my partner is doing. So my point is, like, copying what your partner is doing is not going to really help you reach your goals. Yes, you are training. Yes, you're doing something, which is better than nothing. But again, you have to remember that your partner is your partner. You are you. Like, what works for him might not work for you. So even though it's good that you go to the gym together and you motivate each other that way, just make sure that whatever you're doing, training and diet, it's something specific for you and for your fitness goals. Because guys, they can eat more than us. They have more muscle mass, so they can have more quantities. As women, we have to eat a little bit less than men, case to case. But yeah, as long as you're doing something that is personalized for you and your goals, then yeah, that's amazing. Don't just, copy and paste whatever you're doing. Oh, I even know some ladies, some girls that, my partner is a football player, or he's an athlete. So he has a meal plan to follow. He has a training program to follow. So I just follow whatever he follows. Okay, great. But this is for your boyfriend. This is not for you. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, whatever my boyfriend's doing, I do it. He tells me what to do. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like,
I feel you on that. I'm the same. And I think when I say that, like shared goals, or even like using the gym as a way to be together, I think what's more important is actually having a shared value around health and fitness, right? So
yeah.
not specifically saying we're going to do the same exercise plan, because If
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
to go to the gym, Daniela, with my partner, he would probably have about 8 different exercises to work his chest. And if I'm honest, give me an incline press, give me press ups. I don't need anything else. I'm not interested in pec flies and, you know, benching. I might do a bench for fun, maybe once every few months, but it's not part of my plan. Similarly, does your boyfriend want to be hip thrusting or doing kickbacks every time he's in the gym? Because I tell you what, Daniela, I have seen guys hip thrust, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that they do that and they use it as, you know, part of their training plan. But there's only a fair few of those. But I don't believe I have ever seen a bloke in the gym do kickbacks.
I've seen it one time.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
And
but
it's
the
not to say
guy,
it's wrong, but
no,
let's
no, no, it's not
think
wrong.
about why they might do it. Because especially if you want to accentuate a certain part of your body, you're going to be working certain muscle groups. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, I don't train chest at all. I don't even do incline. Like for me, I don't train chest at all. But I do train glutes. I do train legs. I do train everything else except chest. But yeah, the guy that I saw at the gym doing the cable kickbacks, he does really funny exercises. So I don't think he was doing it precisely to work his butt. And he was maybe trying the exercise. Because yeah, you know, there's some people at the gym like
Maybe he was trying it out to show his
funny.
girlfriend.
Maybe he was. Maybe he was. Yeah. I mean, good on him. You know, he had a really good body, like really good on him. But yeah, he does some really random exercises.
Bless.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I think, yeah, the whole idea of, yeah, having shared goals, I think that's a good idea because, you know, if your partner is motivated to go gym, again, it's going to make things easier for you to stay motivated. Because if you're with someone who doesn't like fitness at all, it's not into the training at all, then yeah, it can be a little bit more like, because when you go to the gym, he's gonna be like, you're wasting your time. What are you doing there? And you might even think like, maybe he's right. Like I am wasting my time. You know, I'm not getting any results. Like maybe I'll just skip the gym this time and I'll just go with him. I don't know, play video games or watch the Netflix show or do this and do that. So I think that kind of fit in a way, 100%. But I think if he's into his fitness and you are into your fitness, that makes things much, much easier to stay on track and to ensure that you keep doing the things that you have to do to reach your goals and he will reach his goals. Yeah, that's what I think about that. And I was going to ask you something. I forgot the question, but it was going to be the question was right here. Well, give me a few seconds. It will come to me. What was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you
Want me to
something.
talk about something else instead?
Okay, yeah, you talk
Okay,
about
cool.
something else, and then I'll ask you my question.
So yeah, it's kind of going off the back of what you've said, like in terms of what you're into and things that you like. I think it would be a deal breaker if I was with someone that did not go to the gym at all, at all.
Yeah.
And it's really funny, but I feel like I know we live in a world where everyone's very like aesthetically driven. And I was on somebody's like show, I don't know, like, oh, wow, maybe 6, 7 years ago. And if you have a look through YouTube, maybe you'd find it, but it was like a relationship type show where we were all sat down. And I remember, not that I remember the episode because I couldn't remember it, but I actually stumbled across it a little while back and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, what was I talking about? But I think the question was about the way people look and finding a partner for the way they look. And I said, look, looks do not matter, but to a certain degree, I feel like someone's body does. And I know that sounds really bad, but I think that it does. And in terms of, for me personally, if I want to be attracted to someone, I do like them having a certain figure or shape or whatever, right? That's just a personal preference. But also, when we come to the mentality and the mindset, it also shows me that they care about themselves, that they value their health, they value their longevity, they value what they put in their body, and they value, you know, working on it. Because the thing is, we don't just go to the gym for the body, we go to the gym for here to sharpen the mind. Training and focusing on something, it's like a meditation in some ways. And like people say, do yoga, do like, I don't know, breathing exercises, whatever it is. But for some people, spending that 1 hour away from all the rest of the shit that's going on in the world, in their lives, to do one thing for themselves, to focus on their body, to train their body, it takes patience. And that's really what it comes down to. It takes patience, it takes dedication, it takes understanding. It's an art form, I think, you know, in that sense. There's so many values that I feel like working on your health and fitness do that translate to how you are as a person, how you show up in the world. If you know, those things that you do to yeah, look at yourself or make yourself more visually appearing, more visually I don't know, whatever we likable or whatever, like just whatever, you look good, you're going to show up and be more confident. And if you're more confident, do not confuse it with arrogance at all, because I do not like arrogant people. But if it's more confidence because you value yourself and you love yourself, like I just think that you're going to be able to give that love better to those around you, and you'll have more patience with other people and understanding. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to add a little something on that. Did you think about your question?
I no, it doesn't come to me, but I agree with you 100%. Like I feel like you said, it's not about arrogance. Like I don't want to be with someone that has a six-pack just because they look hot and amazing. But it's not about, yes, I do care about the way they look. I'll be lying to you if I'm like, no, I don't care. It's just if they're a nice person, I'll be with them. I do care about the way they look. They don't have to be perfect, but they have to be someone that my values aligns with their values. And for me, training, being into my fitness is something that I truly, truly value. And I expect the other person, if they're going to be my partner, I expect the other person to have those values. Not because I just want them to look amazing and hot, but I think it's respecting your body. I respect my body so much. You know, my body is my temple. So I want that other person to feel the same way, you know, have the same value, because it does matter to me so, so much. Fitness, it's part of my body. It's what I do for a living every single day. Like fitness is everything to me. So I do want the other person, my partner, to also have those values. And I think like when people say like, I don't care about how you look, I don't care about how he looks. I don't know. I feel like they lie to themselves a little bit. Like you want to be attracted to that person physically. They don't have to be perfect, because none of us is perfect. But I think you do have to be attracted to that person physically if you're gonna be with them. Because otherwise it's gonna be like, yeah, they're good, he's a good guy or she's a good girl, but then you're not gonna have that level of connection, physical connection, and it's gonna be, in my opinion, a little bit challenging. Yeah, it's a weird topic, but yeah, physical appearance, I think being into the gym, it's something that, yeah, I love 100%. Looking after yourself, respecting your body, respecting your mind. Someone who doesn't drink, someone who doesn't smoke, it's something that I love. I don't like this drink and smoke. That's not my thing. I hate
Not
that.
my thing. Yeah.
And like, yeah, every single guy that I've dated, every single one has been into the fitness. I feel like I've never dated someone, not even like a hookup at the club. I've never dated anyone that was not, that you can tell was not into their fitness. And I think it's because, yeah, you attract the people that you are like.
Yes.
If that
It's like
makes
friendships, right? Your
sense.
friendship circle. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Important.
yeah, I think it's a very important point. Yeah, that's something to consider. Like, just make
Yeah.
sure that your values align with their values. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna be together and you're gonna be spending time together. You're gonna be sharing thoughts together. You're gonna be doing so many things together. So you want to make sure that you're happy with the decision that you made, and that and that person is helping you to be better. You know, again, don't rely on that person to make you better, but that person is, you both are going in the same direction. It's not like he's going left and you're going right. You're both going straight. Different goals, different everything, but same values, and you're just going straight and straight and straight. Yeah, I think that's a really good point that you mentioned. I like that, because that's something that people maybe don't think about it too much, or
Or they
don't want to
shy away
accept,
from.
want to admit it.
I think we
Exactly.
worry also about how that might be perceived. But I think if you create clarity within that and the reasons why, it does make sense. It's just something about working on yourself. And it's like, it just, I think anything that is like self-care, self-improvement, he listens to podcasts, and I actually never used to listen to podcasts, but that is something that's rubbed off on me. And I think maybe that's just because of the way the world's evolved and there's more for us to listen to. But he was listening to podcasts when I like met him. And again, it's just an opportunity that maybe for him, it's not listening to headbanging music when he's in the car all the time. He's actually listening to different topics. And it's, again, like, that's feeding your brain good stuff. You're not just listening to, I don't know, the news and, oh gosh, what else? Crazy celebrity stories or something. You're actually talking about topics that are real life and are value. And again, it could be someone else's experience or story that you're listening to on podcasts. But I love it. I love the world of podcasting. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and look at you now doing podcasts. You didn't used to listen to them. Now you listen to them. You do podcasts yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I tell you what's really funny, right? Daniela, when I was growing up, everyone watched music videos, okay? And now, like, our grandparents would have listened to the radio, and it was always that thing that the video killed the radio star. Like, radio was boring. To listen to the radio was super boring. To hear people was super boring. You need to be watching the images and watching the music videos. Well, it's like we've gone back, but in a different way, because now we are back to listening to people, hearing the voices, but also having the choice to also watch. So for some of you, you might be watching this on YouTube, which is brilliant. And some of you might be listening to this via our podcasts. Anything to finish for tonight, Daniela?
No, I feel like, I guess like the main message that we were trying to say with this podcast is that your relationship can affect your goals, your fitness goals. Be independent. Don't rely on anyone else to make you happy. Have that relationship and love yourself first before you love anyone else. Respect yourself first before you expect anyone else to respect you. Do the things that you like, that you love. Don't change for anyone. Your values are your values and they don't need to change. If the other person wants you to change that, then maybe that's not the person for you. Be strong. And just, I think self-love is something that we always talk about, and it's something that I truly, truly value, because something that I always tell you guys, like, at the end of the day, it's just going to be you by yourself, whether you have the same partner or a different one, it's always going to be you at the end of the day. It's always going to be you. And when you die, it's going to be you by yourself, which is maybe something you don't want to hear, but just work on that relationship first before working on your relationship with your partner. I think that's so important. And just make sure you keep doing the things that you want to do to help you reach your goals, and don't let anything or anyone hold you back. But that's pretty much everything. Everything that I wanted to say, like the main message I wanted to get across with this.
Perfect. Thank you. For those of you that have been listening, this has been our pod talks. We've been talking and discussing all things to do with, like, Valentine's Day, relationships, fitness, nutrition, and life in general, and longevity. So if you have been listening to this and you would like to learn more about Daniela and I, you can follow Daniela on Instagram at Daniella del Carpio, and you can follow myself also on Instagram at Richu Bra. And we will see you here next week. Thursday, New Zealand time, Wednesday, UK time. Perfect. Thank you, Daniela.